Hey y'all, welcome back. So I wanted to drop this word off with y'all um, because as I've, just been experiencing life, the Lord brought this message back to my remembrance. It was actually something that I had tried to record like last year, but because of the memory set up on my phone, like I didn't have enough storage or something at the time. It recorded so much and then it stopped. But just in this season, um, some things that I've been experiencing, like he just brought it back to my remembrance. So I'm just gonna deliver it as the way that he gave it to me. And honestly, he's still working with me in delivering this because I was in a completely different space when I first received this message. But just, long story short, so I am elevating spiritually as well as in the natural. There have been some opportunities presented to me that are allowing me to go to another level. And I'm grateful, I'm thankful. And you know how they say, new levels, new devils. Hold on, y'all, let me dismiss my alarm. But yeah, new levels, new devils. And I have had some warfare going on these last few weeks. And it's to the point to where it's like, you have one thing happen and then everything get the get all right, and then something else happen. You just have so many things happen to where it's like, dang, I can't even remember what happened the other week ago. Like, it just be so much. But anyways, y'all, so um the message that he gave me is titled Storm of Faith. Storm of Faith. And I was reading out of Matthew 8. Um, and in Matthew 8, at verse 23, it talks about when Jesus went to the other side, or he was, getting in the boat to go to the other side. And there just came this great storm out of nowhere. Um, and the disciples, got scared and just wanted him to save them. Matter of fact, let me just read it. So at verse 23, it says, when he got into the boat, his disciples followed him. And suddenly a violent storm arose on the sea, so that the boat was being covered by the waves. But Jesus was sleeping. And the disciples went and woke him, saying, Lord, save us. We are going to die. He said to them, why are you afraid, you men of little faith? Then he got up and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was at once a great and wonderful calm, a perfect peacefulness. The men wondered in amazement, saying, what kind of man is this, that even the winds and the sea obey him? And as I, read that message, or just, read those verses, it made me inquire what a storm, like the definition of a storm. And mind you, like I said, at the time when I received this, I was in a completely different space. So, and the Lord, just woke me up in the middle of the night. And it was actually storming outside for real. And it made me think about the internal storms that we go through in life. But a storm is defined as as a disturbance of the atmosphere marked by wind and usually rain, snow, hail, sleet, or thunder and lightning. A serious disturbance of any element of nature. a disturbed or agitated state. Excuse me, a sudden or violent commotion. And like I said, we experience internal storms in life. And so everything on the outside, may be going just fine, but within our minds, within our hearts, there's something going on. And it doesn't allow us, to have the peace, to have the joy that God gives, that we know is of God. And then sometimes we can be experiencing, external storms, as well as having internal storms, because of the external storms. And that's where I found myself in this season. And so even though, I knew what I knew internally, because of what I was experiencing externally, it kind of started to weigh on me. And it showed me just some points that, I received out of this, is that when you are experiencing internal storms and even external storms that you allow to create internal storms, it distracts you from the promise that God has given, of being that peace, of being that joy, of, hope, and the future plans that He has for you. It just distracts you because your mind is so focused on what is going on right here in the natural, and then all the worry that takes place internally. Whenever you choose to follow Jesus, the storms will come suddenly and violently. And before verse 23, it says that at 21, that another of the disciples said to him, "Lord, let me go and bury my father, so they collect my inheritance." But Jesus said to him, "Follow me, believing in me as master and teacher, and allow the spiritually dead to bury their own dead." So pretty much, and I believe in the Message version, it says, his first things first. So that, the things that we feel like we have to do before we can come to God and or do the work of God, follow Him wholeheartedly, we have to be willing to drop those things, drop them immediately. We have to, be willing to follow Him immediately. And when you make that decision, the storm will come suddenly. It will come violently. There will be things that you never even thought could happen that are gonna happen. Y'all, let me tell you. So, and this is just, side note, just to let y'all know what was going on. I am a mother of two. My child, a full-blooded black child, contracted lice in her hair. And forgive me for my ignorance, but growing up, I was always under the impression that black people don't get lice. Black people do not get lice. That's what I was always told. That was my understanding, because we have to have oil in our hair on a regular basis, that we're not, lice is unable to live in our head. And now my daughter, she does have a nice, she has a nice grain of hair. Honestly, forgive me, because no, all hair is good hair. 4C hair is beautiful hair, because your girl got 4C hair. And it just takes time to understand your hair. All hair is beautiful hair. Don't get me wrong. All hair is great hair. But I would say my daughter is maybe a 4A, between a between a 3C, 4A, maybe even slash 4B. Like her coils, she has curly hair, but her coils are not tight. Um, it does, give off, it, just mixed vibes, but she's not mixed. She's not mixed. Um, but like I said, she just has, fine hair. Um, and she does go to daycare, and it is her class, I guess, it is, predominantly a white class. Um, but I don't know, like, and I did make the school aware of the, um, I guess what they call it, infestation. But I don't, I'm not sure if they had any known cases. Um, but honestly, like, and it bothered me because I could not think of any other place that my child would have contracted lice. Like, she didn't get it here. She didn't get it. No one else in our household, had it. And I did my research, and it says that lice is only able to live outside of a human scalp for 1 to 2 days. So she didn't get it from home. Like, I don't know. I still don't know to this day. I don't know where she got it from. But that was like a whole um like a whole event. Just really sitting there and greasing her scalp, and y'all, mind you, my daughter, she goes to daycare um half she has a half week every other week, and that was her half week, and I was working on her hair at the time. So she was out on Tuesday and Wednesday of that week, and I literally was working on her hair that from that last weekend, like just washing it, going through that whole routine. um and then I was braiding it, so she had half a head done by the time she went back to daycare, and they were only in like the one section of her hair that wasn't done. So yeah, I don't know. We went some other place, and I don't know if she might have contracted it there because it was a group thing, but I don't know, y'all. Like I said, I still don't know. So that laid on me, that rested on me for a while, because I'm sitting here just trying to figure out, like, Lord, how in the world did my child get lice? How, Jesus? How? And then your girl got to go to Walmart and buy a kit to get rid of lice. I don't even know nothing about lice. Nothing. Um, so yeah, I mean, I just felt some type of way. I really did. I really did. And then I had to get my car serviced, and come to find out it was some other stuff going on with my car, y'all. So, that kind of made me feel some type of way. Then after that, y'all, my son got into a fight on the school bus. Some people, these boys tried to jump my baby, y'all. Tried to jump my baby. And at that time, there was an announcement being made about, a position that I'm rising up in, and like working with youth. And I'm like, Lord, what did it look like for me to be a leader over youth, and my child is out here getting in fights on the school bus? Like, this don't look right, Jesus. This don't look right. And then I just finished getting my daughter back in good health because she had the flu. So y'all, when I tell you, your girl is over here like it's going through it, especially with these kids. But see, that's why that's why I say I know this is nothing. It's nothing but the enemy. It's nothing but a storm. It's nothing but a storm of faith. That's all. But so getting back into the message. Like I said, when you choose to follow Jesus, the storm will come suddenly and violently. Violently, y'all. Violently. And you are covered by waves of emotions. I was feeling so many emotions in this season, like just within these last weeks, y'all. So many emotions. Um, and as soon as the storm comes, we go to the extreme. That's what they did. They went to the extreme. We gonna die, Jesus. We gonna die. And your girl was over here feeling like, Lord, I can't get no rest. I can't get no peace. Like, Lord, I'm just tired. Why am I going through all this? Like, am I doing something wrong, Jesus? What have I done? Like, what have I done wrong, Lord? I'm trying. I am trying, Lord. Um, and so, it's just like when you got all of that going on within your mind, all of that, trying to rest in your heart, it distracts you. Once again, it distracts you from his promise. But going back to the text, they knew the one that would save them. And when you know the one that will save you, what do you have to be afraid of? Worried about, depressed over, bothered, overwhelmed, etc. You know the one that's going to save you. You know the one that got you. You know who got you. So what are you worried about? And that's what I had to remind myself. Girl, what are you worried about? He got you. You're good, baby. This is lightweight. Lightweight. Um, and I also wondered, like, in reading that, when they went to Jesus, like, oh, we're gonna die, we're gonna die. How did they think he was gonna save them? Like, what did y'all think he was gonna do? Like, I don't know. I don't know what they thought he was gonna do, but I'm just a little curious. Like, how did they think he was gonna save them? And so when he did what he do, I got another alarm going off, y'all. But when he did what he do, he used his words. He spoke that word. They were in amazement. And, what kind of man is this? But that showed me this is why we must speak the word. This is why we have to speak the word over ourselves when things are going on in our lives that are causing, just causing us to be worried and concerned. And just when we going through the things that we going through, when we having all of these feelings, just speak his word, that I am the head and not the tail. I am above and not beneath. That I am allowing distress to bring me to God and not drive me away. That's 2 Corinthians 7:9. That God knows the plans that he has for me, that they are good plans to prosper, provide a future and a hope. I am experiencing life in abundance to the field till it overflows. John 10:10. Like, knowing how to go back to that word, navigate through that word, that I am covered. I am good. That I will lean not on my own understanding, but in all my ways acknowledge him. Go back to that word, y'all. Go back to that word. Cause he got some promises in there. He done said some stuff to let us know that we can be assured, that we can be confident that he is doing a great work, that he has finished. He has finished it. He know the beginning and the end. And I had, you know what? Never mind. But it also, just it led me to look up sleep, because I realized that, we have to take on the posture of Jesus. And Jesus, he was sleeping during this storm. Like, I'm pretty sure in his sleep, he felt the motion of the boat. He might have felt the water, but it didn't wake him. It didn't bother him um in his sleep. And a lot of times, we got stuff going on. Excuse me, y'all. Um, Sometimes it can distract us from even being able to sleep, not being able to rest in Him. And the definition of sleep is the natural, easily reversible, periodic state of many living things that is marked by the absence of wakefulness and by the loss of consciousness of one's surroundings, is accompanied by a typical body posture, the occurrence of dreaming, and changes in brain activity and physiological functioning, is made up of cycles of non-REM sleep and REM sleep, and is usually considered essential to the restoration and recovery of vital bodily and mental functions. So some synonyms for sleep is rest, peace of mind or spirit, free of anxieties, to remain confident, trust. So during the storm, once again, we must take the posture of Jesus and rest, lose consciousness of the things around us. We can't uh, stay focused on the things that are going on around us. We can't allow it to run over and over again in our minds. So wanting to rest in Him is natural, but it is easily reversible. So be aware of your wakefulness. That, was a part of the definition of sleep, that it is easily reversible. So when we are going through these storms, that posture of resting in Him is so necessary, because we'll go back and forth, and we won't be able to have that peace that He gave after the storm. And when you choose to rest in God, when we choose to rest in God, we experience spiritual non-REM and REM sleep, which is essential to our faith. So that is what this journey, going through this spiritual walk is all about. Like, building up our faith. Our faith, we can't be pleasing to God if we don't have faith. So we are constantly going through the battles and the trials in life to build up our faith that God will do what He said He will do, that He sent His Son for us to believe in His Son, so that we would have everlasting life beyond us being here on earth. But also, while we are here in the earth, He has called us to do a thing, and we have to have the faith to do that thing. Our faith allows for our restoration and recovery in our minds, so we can speak to our physical bodies. And that's what, I had to do. That I had to speak that word and allow that word to overtake this body, to overtake this mind, and say, hey, we gonna calm down. We don't know how these things happen the way that they happen. Yes, we are tired of going through these trials, but this is what this side of life is all about. We're gonna constantly experience different trials, constantly. So, just last minute encouraging words: speak the word, speak the word, take on the posture of Jesus, rest in Him. If He can allow a boat to get flooded with water and know that he not gonna die, know that you can make it through your situation. You will not die. You will not die. You will not die. Trust in him. Know that God has a purpose and a plan for everything. All things work together for the good of them that love the Lord. So all things are working together for your good. Trust in him. Rely on him. And speak that word. Know that it is building, this storm is building up your faith in the one that is able, that will, and that has already saved you. But y'all, I know that was a lot. And Lord, I thank you. I pray that it is an encouragement to somebody. And if it is, please share it with somebody else that might need it. But I'm grateful and I love you guys. Remember that we are the light of Christ to this world. Continue to let your light shine. Continue to let your light shine because it might be the only light that somebody gets to see. But be blessed. I love you guys. Y'all have a great day.